I've got a great topic for you today, and an interesting topic which many people think of. And we kind of all intuitively know this. And what's the difference between self-defense or protecting another person in the States versus Canada? And this doesn't necessarily apply to all states, but many states, I'll say, especially I use the example of Texas, but many states are this way. So there's fundamental differences. First of all, shall we say that the US is much more liberal in applying self-defense? You can defend yourself more easily than you can in Canada. And there's two fundamental differences. I'll use the example of Texas, which is a very liberal state, as you know. There's open, you can carry guns there, and firearms are legal, and many homeowners have weapons, as you know. So what's the first doctrine? Well, the first doctrine is stand your ground. In the States, if you're in a situation where you're being attacked, you have absolutely no duty to retreat. You can stand your ground and defend yourself, and defend yourself, and potentially win your case if you acted in self-defense. So stand your grounds are very firm, no duty to retreat in the States. Canada's a little different, and we can stand our ground. There's no absolute duty to retreat, but the kind of nebulous little bit of thing here is under section 34.2 of the criminal code and in our case law, whether there was a real opportunity to retreat is something a judge can take into consideration in determining whether your actions were reasonable in self-defense. Pretty airy-fairy thing, isn't that? But if there was a real opportunity to retreat, then you might not be successful in your self-defense. But in many cases, that opportunity to retreat is just a fleeting thing, and the fact that you didn't take it is not going to affect the judge. But what if you had 5 minutes to retreat during a developing argument, which people are pushing each other? Maybe the judge won't grant your self-defense in Canada. So that's a difference on stand your ground and duty to retreat versus the States. We can stand our ground, but be careful. If you have an opportunity to retreat, get the hell out of there. Believe me, don't be a hero. Don't leave your ego at home. No use getting in a fisticuffs with another person defending yourself, because either you're going to get charged, you're going to get hurt, or they're going to get hurt, and you wind up in jail, maybe even though you're innocent. So that's a good thing. So that's stand your ground laws. Now the Castle Doctrine, that's an interesting doctrine in the States. That doesn't apply to Canada at all either. In the Castle Doctrine, in the States, in Texas, for example, and many other states, and not all states are the same, a man or woman's in charge of their castle. So if an intruder breaks in, they're allowed to use lethal force to kill them, and they can and do. So don't break in Texas. And burglar's a bad occupation to have in Texas, because you're going to get shot and killed. We don't have the Castle Doctrine. We have to act reasonably in the circumstances in Canada to protect yourself in self-defense or your property, and use proportional force and reasonableness, which is a far more conservative approach than they have in Texas, where people get shot on sight, let's face it. So, but one important thing about your home, we can stand our ground at home, there's no duty to retreat, and the judge cannot take into consideration in Canada that you had an opportunity to retreat. So you can at least protect your home, stand your ground, and protect yourself. But I'll tell people this though, I mean, if you're in the home and it's getting broken into, and you can get the hell out and phone the police, do it. Get out of the home, or call from within the home, because there's no use confronting a burglar who has a potential knife or gun. So even though we can stand our ground at home, is it really a smart thing to do in the middle of the night when you potentially could get killed? So I would recommend, I think the police do, if you can get out of the home, do it, and call the police safely from outside the home right away, and protect yourself at all costs. Don't be the hero. Check your ego at home at the bars. There's no use having to eventually call a criminal lawyer and win 2 years later that I successfully defended myself after spending thousands of dollars and stress for 2 years. So there's some differences, some major differences between many of the US states, not all, and Canada. I don't profess to be an expert on the US, but that's just some general propositions, particularly, and I focus more on Texas, but many states have similar laws to that. Thank you for watching our video. We are absolutely committed to bringing you the best possible criminal and DUI educational videos. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you've been charged with a criminal offense in Ontario and require our services, please click on the link in the description below.